It's like our soul is longing for this thing. Our soul wants it. We desire it. But our human isn't ready to commit to it. My name is Deb Blum, and this is the Whole Soul Way. It's my signature program that I've been teaching for the past 4 years. And I decided to offer the foundation lessons, exercises, and tools for free on YouTube and all of the major podcast channels. Because I truly believe that the world needs more of us healed, whole, authentic, and awake. And you know what? I don't want to be a barrier to anyone getting the help that they need. And in fact, I really want to be part of the change. Each lesson builds on the last. So if this is your first time here, make sure that you start at the beginning. This is your invitation. Show up, do the work, and join the movement of souls who are committed to creating a better world, one inner transformation at a time. Let's dive in. Let's talk about this concept that we get what we are committed to, not what we want. I'm going to use me as the first example here. So for as long as I can remember, I have really, truly wanted more emotional intimacy, depth, and connection with my husband. And I feel frustrated because I don't really have it. And the more that I worked on it, it's felt so elusive. Like, how do I get this? So even though we kept inching our way toward it, I wasn't getting it. Like, I wasn't just getting it. And I was like, what is wrong? Is it just a long, long journey? Does it just take forever to get what you want? And now in retrospect, I can tell you this. I was not committed to emotional intimacy. I wasn't, because the way that we know it is if we look at our results, whatever the results are, that's what we're actually committed to. We might not think we're committed to it. We might not want it. But what we are committed to is whatever we're getting results on. So for me, I was committed to distance, emotional distance. Now, why? I was committed to it because it was safer. That's what felt safe, was distance. But what I wanted and longed for, what I desire, is emotional intimacy. And it's not that unusual to have the thing that you want the most to be one of the hardest things for you to get, or one of the hardest things for you to get to be the thing you want the most. It's not that unusual. It's also not that unusual for it to be tightly linked with trauma. It's like our soul is longing for this thing. Our soul wants it. We desire it. But our human isn't ready to commit to it. So the more we can get honest with ourselves and we could see, like for me, the other thing I was committed to was being right. My husband being wrong and incapable of emotionally connecting to me. And I think those are probably the two main ones. I was pretty committed to those things. Somehow I was also committed to the idea that getting emotional intimacy is hard. Because then it kept distance, like, oh, I'm working at it. See, I do want it. Don't you see me? I really want it. I'm working so hard at it. But I'm never really committed to it. Because again, we get what we commit to and then what we put effort toward. Not what we want, not what we desire. That's not what we get. We get what we commit to. That is a hard lesson to learn. And the way you know if you're actually committed to the things that you want is, are you getting the results you want? Now, one thing that's really important to talk about is that there's no shame. But we could be honest with ourselves about what we're committed to. So let's just say that you want to be more capable of staying present in situations where there's conflict. So you want to heal the wound of being a peacekeeper, conflict avoidant, people pleasing, whatever you want to say about it, because it's different for everybody, but something like that. But you keep on feeling like you're freaking scared to death in your relationships when there's conflict. So you might legitimately be committed to safety. There's nothing wrong with being honest about what you're really committed to, because then it lets you do the work at the right place, at the right level. So like for me, because I was committed to Mike being wrong, me being right, Mike being unable to do this work and to distance, it's clear to me that I have a lot of work to do. I'm projecting onto Mike that he's not capable of emotional intimacy. Hello, me. I'm saying that he's wrong and I'm right. Okay, hello, I've got something there. I'm also committed to distance. I get to look inside and say, why am I committed to distance? But like for a person who wants to disrupt their pattern of being conflict avoidant, but they are committed right now to feeling safe, that means they have work to do. They have to continue to do some of the healing work on it. But they have to be honest with themselves that they're not yet quite committed. They might want to break that, but they're not quite committed to the end game. They're not committed. It's too far down the road. They're not ready. They cannot commit to that. You see where I'm going? So say another example that came up the other day was about you arguing with your children. Like your child is very argumentative and difficult. And you want peace. But every time they argue, you get pulled into the drama and then you end up arguing too. So you're actually committed to conflict and arguing because that's what's actually playing out in life. That's what you're getting and that's how you're participating. You're committed to conflict and arguing. You're not committed to peace. You may want peace, but what you're committed to is arguing. Well, then the question is why? Why are you committed to doing that when you think you want peace? So it's a beautiful tool to use. What are you committed to versus what you want? And then what are you willing to commit to now? Because here's the thing. You can still hold on to the dream of I want this, right? You can be like, I really want to be emotionally connected to my partner. I want emotional depth and I want to feel that closeness. I want to be known emotionally. I want to know them emotionally. But if right now you're not willing to commit to that, which means you take a 100% responsibility for what you can do. You open your heart. You share from your heart. You literally listen from your heart. If you're not able to do that, because like to me, I wasn't even able to do it. So I could have wanted it, but I wasn't able to take 100% responsibility. I was still in blaming. I was still thinking he needed to do it better. I was thinking that he needed to learn that I'm right and that I want this and he doesn't even want it. All the stories that were keeping me from being able to take full responsibility for what I would have needed to have been capable of taking responsibility for. But do you see? There's nothing wrong. I haven't been doing anything wrong. It's just that it's not honest to say that I'm committed to that. It's just not honest. It's honest to say I want it. It's honest to say I desire it. But it's not honest to say I'm committed to it because what I was committed to was safety, righteousness. I was committed to distance, separation. And that's what I was getting. So until I made the commitment, and I'm still in this process, by the way, but until I made the commitment that no, actually, I'm committed to emotional intimacy, which means that every action that I have must be in service to emotional intimacy. Which means I have things I need to do. I need to share from my heart, not from my brain. I need to listen from my heart, not my brain, not my amygdala. I have to listen from the place of how do I play my part to cultivate emotional intimacy? What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? How do I need to show up? And that's when you can get into things like practices, daily habits, commitments, learning. Sometimes learning, like how does one do this? Practicing in my journal. I'm practicing in my journal. I'm writing my feelings, my fears, my confusions. It's a big one. I find that I'm a big contradiction, so I've got a lot of confusion. The other one is to be able to listen to my husband when he shares something, to not try to correct him, to not get into that's not exactly accurate. I mean, there might be a time to talk about what was accurate, but to talk about how it must feel to be in that situation, to share how my confusions about them, to be dropping into the vulnerable places in my heart that I have always kept guarded. Because if I really am committed to emotional intimacy, I have work to do. So I hope this is helpful because honestly, it's probably one of the most magical tools we can use. Some people say you can see what people's values are based on how they spend their time. I would agree. You can see what their values are sometimes based on how they spend their money. It's a little trickier because a lot of times with our money, it can be caught up in other things. There are some things that feel like obligations. So you might value the climate or something like that, but you don't believe that you have the money to spend on it because you are prioritizing your family. So it's a little trickier. I would say it's probably true for both of them, but I'm just trying to make the point that what we dedicate ourselves to, whatever it is that we commit to, financially, time-wise, mentally, emotionally, energetically, at every piece, every level, that is what we get more of. What we focus on expands, what we resist persists. So it's an incredibly empowering thing to consider and to look at, this idea of commitment compared to wants.